How to make my stuffed falafels. These are so delicious. They're super soft and, dare I even say it, they're moist. Start off by dolloping some hummus on a baking parchment and then put it in the freezer to set for at least an hour. If you want a recipe on how to make hummus, I've got one on my Instagram. Now let's move on to our falafel mix, the star of the show. I've soaked some chickpeas overnight, drained them and blended them. You then want to add those to a bowl and mix in all your other ingredients. So I'm adding 1 onion, some garlic, a little bit too much garlic, lots of herbs and lots of spices. Feel free to make these your own though. So for instance, you could swap out the herbs. I'm using mint, parsley and dill, but you could swap that out for coriander, for instance. I'm also adding some lemon zest, but confit lemon peel would be delicious if you have it. Moral of the story is, the world's your falafel. But here's my recipe anyway. Once you have all the ingredients mixed in there, it's time to blitz it up. I'm using a stick blender to do this. You want it to look like this, so stick together but still with a few lumps. You then want to take your dollops of hummus out of the freezer. They should be solid at this point. It's time to form the falafels. Woohoo! So you want to make a little patty in the palm of your hand with the falafel mix. Put a dollop of hummus in the middle, then cover it with more falafel mix. Pack it tightly with your palms into a ball, and that's it. Just make sure all the hummus is covered. I'm stuffing them with hummus, but you can let your creativity run wild here. Any stuffing you fancy, just freeze it into dollops that you can place in the center, and that's it. Could be harissa, baba ganoush, whipped feta. For all I care, don't put any herbs and spices in your mix and stuff them with chocolate ganache. Who knows, it might work. Then pop them in the fridge for a little sleep. In the meantime, let's make some other bits to have ourselves a proper feast. So I'm making my own flatbreads here. This is a super simple recipe. You just mix together bread flour, yogurt, some raising agents and salt. And I've added a few cumin seeds for extra flavor. Then you just knead it together until it's nice and smooth. Nah, look at me go, kneading away, probably thinking about the meaning of life. Ooh, smooth. Then we divide the dough into 6 equal parts and roll them up into little balls to leave to rest for 10 minutes. After they've had their little nap, you just roll them out using a rolling pin or, equally as effective, an empty wine bottle, and they're ready to go. Then all that's left is to cook them, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of olive oil on each one and then put them in a really hot pan, or I've used a plancha here. Once they're brown on each side, you're done. Now let's make a cheeky baba ganoush to dip it all in. Why not? Start off with an aubergine that you're just gonna pierce through with a fork. I seem to have gone a little violent there, ignore me. Then you want to either put it on an open flame if you have a gas hob, or under the grill, or here I'm putting it on the plancha or a hot pan. The aim is just to burn the skin off, so leave it to cook until the skin is black on all sides. Once that's done, just leave it covered to cool before removing the skin, and it should come straight off. And once it's peeled, you just want to roughly chop it up on a board. It should be really soft, so easy to chop up and get a nice tasty mush. Then once that's done, you just prop your aubergine mush into a bowl and stir in the other ingredients. So I like to add half a lemon juiced, a tablespoon of tahini, a nice pinch of salt and black pepper, and a teaspoon of cumin. Usually I would either also burn a garlic clove while I'm burning the aubergine and put that in, or grate in a bit of raw garlic, but as I mentioned earlier, I accidentally put way too much garlic in the falafel mix, so tried to tone down the garlic in everything else. But if you follow the recipe I put up, you should be fine. Don't forget the evu, and then just stir it, and that's done. Yum. And to finish it off with all that, we want a nice, fresh, crunchy salad to brighten up our feast. I got kind of inspired by a fatouche salad, but without the pita bread. So we're starting off by chopping up all our veg. I've used some baby gem and cucumber. Then we want to grate some tomatoes, which will act as a sort of dressing for our salad and bring some really nice acidity and sweetness. We then add lots of fresh herbs. I've used the same as our falafel mix here by adding parsley and fresh mint. Cannot recommend enough using full-size tomatoes. I only had cherry toms, and I won't lie, grating them took forever. Don't know about you, but after all that effort, I thought I deserved a little reward snack, so salted the tomato skins that I couldn't grate and munched on those. Yum. Then it's time for my chopping song that literally no one asked for. Choppy, 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 must be chopping to make my fatouche salad, kind of. Finally, mix in the other half of the lemon juice, salt, pepper, and lots of evu. And there it is. That's my nice fresh salad. And finally, we're almost there, friends. Hang on tight. Hopefully you remember the falafel we put in the fridge, so it's time to fry them off. Just put 1 litre of vegetable oil of any kind in the pan on a medium to high heat. It's hot enough once you put a crumb in there and it starts to bubble around the crumb straight away. Put a few falafel in the oil at a time and leave them until they're nice and golden brown on all sides. Salt them as soon as they come out of the fryer. And there we go, it's finally time to feast. These were so incredibly good, full of flavour, warm and soft in the middle. Basically a self-saucing falafel. I can't recommend them enough. Let me know if you try and make them. Oh, look at that.